So, young man, you're having a baby. A new life that will depend on you. Well, you can't send the baby back. So with hopes high, you decide to be the best dad the world has ever seen. Oscar Hammerstein II, wrote these lyrics. I wonder what he'll think of me. I guess the baby will call me the old man. I guess he'll think I can lick every other feller's father. Well, I can. But he'll have more common sense than his pudding-headed father ever. But what Mr. Hammerstein doesn't write is that every dad, every parent, brings all of their own baggage into being a dad. Who gave him a hand? Who taught him about life? Who mistreated my dad? Who made him afraid? Who nurtured him and gave him a break? In spite of Dad's best efforts, all of these things come with him. The Apostle Paul, the speaker in the Roman passage read in our hearing today, would not have made a model parent. When we first meet Paul, he has killed a Christian, and until Jesus strikes him blind on the road to Damascus, he's on his way to kill more. Not a great occupation for a dad. And yet, a transformed Paul writes to the church at Galatia, I labor in childbirth, hoping and praying that the Spirit will be born in you. Spiritual parent. To his spiritual children, Paul is saying, in spite of all of the evil and the hatred and the wrath that I have carried, that I have seen, that I have preached, Christ has given birth to the Holy Spirit in me, and for what you will need to overcome it, it needs to be born in you. In Paul's own overcoming, he knew a lot about the relationship between suffering and patience, character leading to hope. A good parent is a good teacher, and he or she teaches a child that nothing worthwhile in the world can be attained without suffering. My dad never once complimented me on my music, but he never missed a performance I made. Kids who love sports know that nothing can be attained without suffering. Kids who excel in academics know this. Kids who express well in the arts also know this. To excel in any area of specialty, you are going to have to get used to failing and failing and failing. Dying to your old self every day. You have to overcome your own dislike for practice and repetition. You have to understand that no matter how well you prepare, a good teacher, a great parent's job is not to shower you with attaboys and attagirls. No, a great teacher's job, a great parent's job, when you present your best, is to congratulate you for your work, for your discipline, for your achievement, and then to show you how developing your gifts can lead you forward to something even better. How can you get over yourself in the attainment of higher goals for yourself and for the world? Muhammad Ali once said, it is not the great mountains that will exhaust us. It is the pebble in our shoe. When a dad, in spite of all of his own baggage, can teach a child the joy of the tedium of learning, that dad has introduced his child to endurance, to patience, to wait for it and dream about it, to work for it every day. But even as a parent teaches, even as a dad teaches, dad must be a learner too. Chance the Rapper once said that his parents separated shortly after he was born, so he never knew his father as a nurturer. And he said, I became close to my dad at the end of his life when he was ill, and I had to take care of him. But he died too quickly. He died before he could teach me how to be a father to my daughter. And so now I'm learning that. What does it mean to think of Dad's self as a person of authority in this 21st century world in which we now live? A world where everything is being redefined. Where being a dad of color might make you suspect, and being a white dad maybe means that being accused, you might be accused of wielding unmerited privilege. What does it mean to be a man, to be a dad in this world today? I got a Father's Day card today from seminarian Julie Davis, which says, "You give the patriarchy a good name." I love that card. But aren't men in that position? What does it mean? Women no longer have any intention of taking some lesser seat. Children have legal rights that protect them from physical and mental abuse. Very few families can survive on one income, so almost all parents must work. So almost all parents have a say in what goes on and how the money is spent. Peer pressure from school friends can have as much weight as a parental decree. What is Dad's role? In redefinition, make no mistake about it, dads are suffering. Theologian Michael Jenkins writes that maybe some dads are learning that suffering, that suffering in order to improve and prove that suffering in the eyes of God is never wasted. As Paul said, some suffering, some redefinition, some struggling to find out who you really are builds character, leading to hope that does not disappoint. Jenkins sketched out some thoughts for dads who are engaged in redefining themselves. He says, always be there. Quality time doesn't happen without quality time spent in preparation. Hang out together for no other reason than just to be in each other's presence. Pray for your children regularly, passionately, continually. Dance with your kids. Dance their dance of styles. Dance, yes, dance their particular dance. I'd love to see some of you doing those dances. Don't wait until your daughter's wedding day. Tell your kids how attractive they are before some beauty magazine or some weightlifting magazine or some friend tries to convince them otherwise. Remember how quickly time passes. Children will spread their wings and fly away someday. Enjoy their caterpillar years while you can. Never miss their birthday. And when you say you're going to show up, always keep your word. Paul changed a lot from the time that he first became a Christian until the time that he wrote this letter to the church at Rome near the end of his life. He, like many dads today, found joy in the redefinition of suffering so that it went from being a source of frustration or even a public admission of failure to a sign that in suffering we are struggling and striving for our state of higher grace in God. Whether you have a dad who was a true mentor and guide, whether you had a dad who was a cause of so much of your suffering, don't waste the pain. Let whatever suffering that you have experienced and whatever suffering you have inherited not make you afraid, not make you overly cautious, but produce in you patience, which leads to strong character, which introduces hope in the promises of God. The promises of God, a hope that will not disappoint. Let's pray. God, we thank you for our happy memories. And we thank you for the memories of struggle and strife. Because we have survived them and we have grown strong. We give you thanks for our biological and spiritual parents, our uncles and our aunts, our mothers and our cousins, all who did the best they could. Help us learn from those lessons and strive to be the mothers and the fathers of this church that you have created and the mothers and the fathers that this world needs. Help us to continue to build on the faith that we have in you. In your Son's name we pray.